I'm Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. And this is the first entry to our newest series over here at Savvy Reviews called I Finally Watched. Any movie I didn't see in theaters that I finally get to catch, the chance to catch through whatever means I catch it. This I'm watching on HBO Max. Yeah, if it comes out on streaming and whatnot, I just find a way to watch it. If I just found the way to watch it. Don't worry about how. Well, you don't have to worry about that with one battle after another. It's like I said, I watch this on HBO Max. Either way, any movie I missed, I'm gonna do a review like this for. And seeing the fact that the Oscars just announced the Best Picture nominations, I seen Sinners. So if you fire on Sinners, that shit was amazing. If you just need to know that. I seen Begonia, I reviewed that. I seen Frankenstein, I reviewed that. What else was nominated? I haven't seen Hamnet. I haven't seen Sentimental Value. I seen F1. Did not review that, and I'm not going to review it. 2 out of 5 Savs. Mid. What else was nominated? Most of it, Sentimental Value, Train Dreams, and Hamnet, I know are the 3 movies I have not seen that were nominated for Best Picture. I know Frankenstein, Begonia. Most of the movies I've seen were nominated, and now one battle after another. So I've seen 7 in there, I believe. Sinners, one battle after another, Begonia, Frankenstein. What else? F1, that's 5. What else was in there? One battle after another, that's 6. There's 4 more I'm missing. Train Dreams, Sentimental Value, Hamnet. Oh, I did not watch The Night Agent or The Secret Agent. Whatever that movie is, that's the Brazilian film. I haven't seen that one. So yeah, it's 4 movies that I need to watch, that's for sure. Hamnet, Sentimental Value, The Night Agent. It's a lot of movies that were nominated for Best Picture, okay? I just named them all. Kind of trash. But either way, fuck all that. Just know I finally watched one battle after another. I watched it over the weekend, and I've had time to think about it and ponder on it and really decide how I want to attack this review. Now, over here at Savvy Reviews, even with our I Finally Watched series, this might be a little different because I do reserve the right to spoil this since it already came out last year. And like I said, most people have already seen it. But for this one, I'm not going to spoil the last 2 hours. I'm going to spoil the first 30 minutes, though. That's what I'll definitely do. I'm going to spoil the first 30 minutes. But the last 2 hours, I won't, right? And the reason why I say that is because most of my good is the last 2 hours of this movie. The last 2 hours of this movie is peak cinema. From the score, the soundtrack, the way it's shot, the way how everything that was set up in the first 30 minutes kind of unraveled and played out and turned into what it turned into. These last 2 hours, if you don't know, the first 33 minutes of this movie is basically 16 years before, or 17 years before, I don't know, before Chase Infinity's character becomes a teenager in high school. So the first 30 minutes take part 17 years before that, and it's basically a time skip and a huge time jump in between those first 30 minutes and these next 2 hours, which is basically unraveling those first 35 minutes and the setup of those events that happened there. Honestly, I cannot lie. Acting, amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio is my spirit animal in this movie in a lot of ways, that's for sure. Wow, he was never on time anywhere, which I could relate to as well. In a lot of ways, this character in this movie, Bob, I believe is his name, I really fucked with. I loved Leonardo DiCaprio's portrayal of this character, and he definitely showed up to work for this. Wow, he really doesn't do much because he's just really a stoned out, bumbling idiot. How Leonardo DiCaprio plays this character and plays this role, it could feel like just that, but it has more, substance to it than just that. He's not just Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Like, it's some substance there to him because it's Leonardo DiCaprio playing the role, and he does an amazing job. Now, when it comes to the best actor race and all that is concerned, it's Michael B. Jordan for me. But I understand why people want Timothée Chalamet to win, because he does indeed carry that movie, Marty Supremo. I didn't like it too much. He did carry it in a lot of ways, so I get it. But personally, I want Michael B. Jordan to win. But if you ask me, this role from Leonardo is not his best, so I really don't think he deserves it. To be honest, it's definitely the third best acting job of last year, but third best is still kind of crazy seeing how much movies came out. but Leo is him to me. That's my GOAT. So regardless of it, he did an amazing job in this. Sean Penn fucking killed it as Lockjaw. Like look, I understand why it's like we don't know Benicio or Sean Penn is Lockjaw. Unfortunately, I would have to go Sean Penn, one, because he's in the whole movie. Like, he's literally in the whole movie, and he's a mainstay and a big anchor as far as the antagonists go for everything that happens in this. So I would have to give it to him. I have to give it to Sean Penn. He did an amazing job in this. He fucking killed it as Lockjaw in every way. Every way he was being played, when it came to the satirical parts of him, when it came to the menacing parts of him, it all worked for me. I really enjoyed Sean Penn doing this. Benicio del Toro is not in the movie for long enough, and that's why I'm saying I would go Sean Penn, because he had just a lot more heavy lifting to do. Benicio del Toro, when he shows up though, kills it. Does an amazing job, does what he does best, and all the ladies in this did a really great job too. Teyana Taylor, we're going to talk about her in the next section, but as far as the acting goes, amazing. She showed up to work, did an amazing job with what she was given, and while I get why she's the front runner, I would give it to the girl in Sinners over her. I would. She was in way more of the movie. She had just about as much heavy lifting to do. And from the theme of each character, I just feel like the theme that the character in Sinners had, the black lady, what she provided was way more substantive in a lot of ways than what Teyana Taylor had to provide here. Even though there was some substance here for Teyana for sure. She was acting her ass off, don't get me wrong. I just think that the black girl in Sinners did 10 times better, in my opinion. But regardless of it, she killed it. Chase Infinity as well. While they were saying to nominate her for Best Lead Actress, I think she should have fell in supporting, but she does a great job for what she's given in this movie, and so does Regina Hall. Look, acting superb, directing superb. Shout out to Paul Thomas Anderson. The writing, shout out to him as well. Superb. These last 2 hours are peak. That car chase scene is amazing. The satirical elements of it all, how it talks about a lot of things that are going on even today, and how it blends it all in. It just works for this family drama revolution movie, or as far as a sad revolution goes, because, you know, in a lot of ways, Benicio del Toro and his cohorts, their revolution was way more organized than these other guys. That's for sure. But regardless of it, I liked everything about the last two. Like, I could not stop watching the movie. I was enthralled. I love the score. I keep saying it. The score is fucking amazing. This score is great. I like Sinners' score better, but this score and soundtrack cooked. I'm not gonna lie. Paul Thomas Anderson got some soul. I'm gonna lie to you, which makes sense. But either way, I saw the good, right? So what didn't I? It sounds like I really enjoyed this movie, seeing the fact that it's 240 and 2 hours of it is fucking amazing. Peak cinema. What didn't I like? Them first 30 minutes. And now we get into spoilers, because I'm definitely about to spoil it. I'm definitely about to tell you what happens in the first 40 minutes of this movie. So be warned. But this movie starts off with them freeing some immigrants from this camp. And at this camp, I guess Lockjaw is running it, and Teyana Taylor and Regina Hall and Leonardo DiCaprio, and there was some other people. I think Harris, Woodford Harris, I forgot his name, but cool black guy that shows up in a lot of projects. He was in this as well. And so they started off by bombing and raiding this basically immigration camp where they're keeping undocumented citizens, and you even see the cages. Like, so you clear as day, you know, messages are being sent, right? and you could tell that this was being written with a point. Paul Thomas Anderson was writing this for a reason, at least how he was writing it. So you could see that right off the bat, right? So they're breaking in and freeing these immigrants. Teyana Taylor goes out back to the office. I guess she's checking the points and whatnot. and she runs into Colonel Lockjaw. And what proceeds to happen was probably the most uncomfortable and cringy thing I've seen in the movie for a while. Because Teyana Taylor points the gun up at him and tell him to get up, but it's with some sexual energy. Like, the energy's off. It's very sexual. Then she's like, hey, get it up. And it's like, oh, she's telling him to get hard. And he literally proceeds to get hard right in front of the whole world to see. Pause. Had to see Sean Penn get his dick. I wonder how much Viagra he needed for that scene. But hey, that's what we saw. And so at this moment, Lockjaw, while he doesn't get any play, and Teyana Taylor basically teases him and tells him to get, points him outside, tells him to go beyond the gates. Nothing really truly happens in that first moment. And he's just hard as hell, standing up with his hands behind his back outside, telling Teyana, oh, I will see you again. And so basically what ends up happening is Lockjaw just starts watching Teyana Taylor from afar. In the most objectifying ways you can. Watching her ass. Like, he's in love with this woman. And the way Paul Thomas Anderson directed Teyana Taylor in these first 30 minutes, well, I ain't mad at it, because Teyana Taylor is fine as shit. I would not be upset if somebody told me they felt like this woman was being objectified. Because you know how you see those memes on Twitter where it goes, oh, the cameraman was doing his job here, and it's basically somebody recording a pretty girl walking in or from afar somewhere. That was basically Paul Thomas Anderson with these shots in this movie. He did his job. He said, I got Teyana Taylor on camera. Oh, we getting the shots. we gonna see what we need to, and by my God, do we? My God, do we? And while this revolution stuff is happening and going, what kind of bogs it all down and shadows over it is the point of this whole fixation that this old white man is having with this black woman, to the point where it's just very uncomfortable. And then they run into each other. He tells her to meet her somewhere. She meets him at this hotel, and she sticks her gun up his ass, and I guess they proceed to fuck there. And he impregnates her. Is one time he caught her in the bathroom, and it looked like she was about to come off, but no, he told her to meet her and whatever, and she met him. And so she was into him too, clearly, because she let him stick his penis inside of her, which is kind of weird. In my opinion, this is my opinion here, we live in a society where for some reason we have a lot of woke black women, and they're woke as shit. They're the wokest it could be. And that's what I saw in Teyana Taylor in this movie. One of these black women who is woke, who wants to see the system change, who hates the system, and is a revolutionary, basically doing things to try and make it change. But she like white men. And it's just, I don't get that. I just don't. I never will. How can you be a revolutionary but like the oppressor? Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. And I feel like a lot of these 30 minutes was just interracial couple lives matter. And while it sets up for the next 2 hours, as far as her getting caught, killing somebody, I'm not really going to talk about the jungle pussy scene, her jumping on, talking about, oh, yeah, black and independence, I'm a woman, fuck you. I'm not really talking about that. I didn't really have no problem with it, to be honest. But everything I really just found cringe was the whole interracial couples lives matter stuff. And look, I'm not mad at it at all. I am not. Love who you love. Do what you want to do. But it just fell into that problem of black women loving their oppressors. It's just, especially when you're a black woman who's a revolutionary. And Teyana Taylor is saying I tried, all these black women she tried to hone for this role, and it's like none of them would okay and green light your character fucking the oppressor and getting pregnant by him. And you're saying you're pro-choice. Well, you would think you might want to get an abortion, but no, instead she just pawns the baby off to Leonardo DiCaprio because he wants to be a good guy, and he loves the baby and he loves Teyana Taylor. But then she goes, no, I want to be a revolutionary still, and ends up getting postpartum depression and wanting to do something right and whatnot. And it goes off and robs banks and blows things up with jungle pussy, gets caught, snitches on everybody. And so it leads Leo and the baby to have to go on the run. I guess Leo don't at this time know that that's not his child, but I think the whole time he did, as far as how the movie played out. So either way, it's just odd. It's just Teyana Taylor's character made a lot of choices that I don't think a black woman revolutionary would make. And that's just what you get when you have a white man like Paul Thomas Anderson writing a character like this and not really trying to make a point of black women in revolutions, more so trying to make a point of black women liking white men, old white men at that. It just felt like some old white man fanfic in the first 40 minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was cringe. It was just like, this is, and so I was uncomfortable after that. And then the time skip happened, and then the music kicked in, and you know, Chase Infinity is karate, and the camera panned out, and Paul Thomas Anderson started cooking, and I was just like, yeah, he could have kept him first 30 minutes. He could have kept him. This is what I'm here to see. Either way, that's how I felt about one battle after another. Long review, I know, but this was, like I said, I had to think about this one. This was like I said, the first 40 minutes is cringy, don't really add up. Really feel like I'm being bashed over the head with this whole, you know, black woman loving white men thing. And that's cool and whatnot, but it just really feels like I'm getting bashed over the head with it. And while I said, it's fun looking at Teyana Taylor, I tell you that much, she fine as hell. It just got awkward. But after that, this revolutionary satire about America and ICE and family drama, and this woman or this kid being the product of horrible mistakes and having to deal with them, and the one battle after another in the sense of that, I loved. I did. So while Sinners is still a 5 out of 5 for me, I prefer that is a full complete movie that's really good. This movie, the first 35 minutes. So I get why people love it. I understand when you're watching it in a different eye and perspective. I get it. Me, on the other hand, looking at it, it was odd. It was, and a bit uncomfortable at times. Like I'm telling you, it felt like I was watching some old white man, black woman fanfic. Which is, hey, and seeing the fact that the way these first 35 minutes played out is not how the book played out at all. And there was a lot added, and it was a lot manipulated, and it was a lot moved around. PTA, you ain't slick. I know what you're trying to do here. And look, I ain't mad at it. Love who you love, but you ain't gotta preach to me, buddy. You know, especially when in preaching to me, I gotta see Sean Penn get hard and a gun stuck up his ass. Either way, overall though, 4 out of 5 sass. Regardless of it, really enjoyable movie. Look, it's a talker. That's what I like about movies like this. Like, those first 30 minutes are for people to watch and then pause and go, what do you think? Like, this is a conversation piece for sure. So it's just like, yeah, I love movies like that. So I give them all the credit in the world. Overall though, fire. 4 out of 5 saves from me. It's not perfect. It's not the best movie ever made. Best movie I ever seen. It's questionable choices in the first 35 minutes. Those last 2 hours are the movie I feel like Twitter watched. And that is the movie that Twitter watched for sure. But it felt like they just ignored them first 35 minutes and didn't say a word about it other than the people that were talking about it in the black community. But everybody else just shut up about it and was like, bro, did you see that last car chase scene? I mean, yeah, no, it was peak for sure. But what about the first 35 minutes, though? What's going on there? Because that wasn't peak. That felt like I was being preached to about interracial couple lives mattering. Did not sign up for that. But hey, 4 out of 5 sass for me. 20-minute review. Yeah, this was one of them ones. I had to really lay out my thoughts on this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below if you made it all the way through here at the end. Over here at I Am Savvy Mike TV. Yeah, these I finally watched will probably be longer reviews, see if I want to spoil it or not. But we'll see. Either way, let me know what you think about one battle after another. As always, I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews. Peace.